Arsenal have now inquired to sign unbelievable £75 million Premier League player. And PSG star Kylian Mbappe declares he is ready to make a shocking move, inspired by Thierry Henry. Watch until the end so you don't miss any detail. But before that, if you're also passionate about Arsenal, subscribe to our channel right now to stay informed about everything happening behind the scenes of the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's get into today's top news. The 25-year-old attacker is set to leave Paris at the end of the season, with Real Madrid the most likely destination for Mbappe after years of links to Los Blancos. Yet a Premier League switch could be on the cards for Mbappe, and Arsenal could be one of the leading clubs to sign the attacking sensation if the Gunners had the finances to pull off such a deal. Kylian Mbappe open to Arsenal move as Thierry Henry claim emerges. According to The Independent, Mbappe is open to moving to Arsenal with the French international keen to replicate the career of Henry, a player the PSG star grew up watching and admiring. The Gunners have been linked with a move for Mbappe ever since the striker made a name for himself with AS Monaco, with Arsene Wenger even reportedly meeting with the attacker before joining PSG. Nearly 7 years on from that encounter, and Mbappe is once again on the move, and this time there is a slight chance that Arsenal could actually land the 25-year-old superstar. However, the odds of this move happening seem slim, to say the least, with Arsenal lacking the finances to even match Mbappe's astronomical wages as well as not having the same pull Madrid has on certain players. Mbappe is arguably the best signing Arsenal can make this summer if funds were unlimited and FFP didn't exist, such is the cruel manner the game of football now unfortunately works in. Which is why Mikel Arteta will need a miracle if he is to sign Mbappe, with recent reports teasing Arsenal fans that a deal could be possible with the player open to a move. Indeed, Arsenal are aware that such a move would be impossible to finance, yet stranger things have happened in football, and a miracle could soon come in an unlikely way in the summer for Mbappe. Arsenal have reportedly inquired to sign Everton defender Jarrad Branthwaite, with a number of Premier League clubs interested in the centre-back. The 21-year-old has emerged as one of Everton's most important players under Sean Dyche, with Branthwaite developing well this season and looking like a potential star for the future. With Everton in as precarious a financial position as they are, there's a strong chance that the Toffees could be forced to sell a player like Branthwaite in the summer, and Arsenal are now in the mix. According to the Daily Mail, the Gunners have made their move to sign Branthwaite, with Arsenal already making an approach for the former Carlisle United star. However, as per the report, a number of other Premier League clubs have made similar moves, with Manchester United, Tottenham and Chelsea also asking for details on Branthwaite. Described by Dutch pundit Suleiman Osterk as an unbelievable defender, some reports suggest that Branthwaite could cost as much as £75 million if Everton decided to sell the youngster in the summer. Indeed, whilst Arsenal would never go anywhere near this figure if their interest in Branthwaite developed, interest from the Gunners does make sense, and the Everton star would be quite the addition. Arsenal have to make a serious decision on whether to pursue Everton starlet. A central defender might not be high on Arsenal's summer wishlist, yet adding another option to the backline could be wise if the Gunners are to push for more silverware next season. And knowing how Mikel Arteta works, Branthwaite could be an excellent addition to Arsenal's ranks if the Gunners can strike a reasonable agreement with Everton for the defender. As we know, the Toffees are hardly in a position to bargain with their financial situation as dire as it is, something many clubs might take advantage of in the summer. Moreover, Branthwaite himself could be sold already on a move to Arsenal, especially with the Gunners set to qualify for the UEFA Champions League yet again this season. Forgotten Arsenal star to return. Arsenal midfielder Fabio Vieira is set to give Mikel Arteta a major boost by returning to the squad for next week's Champions League last 16 first-leg clash against Porto. The playmaker has been out since November after undergoing groin injury. The Gunners' Champions League campaign resumes next week, with a trip to Porto to face the Portuguese giants. And Vieira has given Arteta a major boost by returning to training, and the midfielder hopes to be fit to face Porto. Pundit heaps praise on Saka. Garth Crooks was full of praise for Bukayo Saka after he starred in Arsenal's 6-0 win over West Ham. The BBC pundit said, "He's come a long way since he missed his penalty in the Euro 2020 final shootout. The way the England international put his spot kick past Alphonse Areola in the West Ham goal to put Arsenal 2-0 up seemed to suggest Saka hasn't lost a wink of sleep about taking penalties since that fateful evening. I said then that the experience would make a player out of him, and it has. He's not only become one of the best players in the country, he's Arsenal's most consistent goalscorer. Meanwhile, as emphatic as their win was against the Hammers, Arsenal cannot win the title without a top-class natural finisher at centre-forward, and they don't have one. Gunners open to selling Kai. Arsenal will reportedly consider selling £65 million summer signing Kai Havertz at the end of the season. Spanish outlet Fichages suggest the Gunners are running out of patience as the former Chelsea attacker struggles to tie down a specific role in the team. The 42-cap German, 24, has notched 5 goals from 33 matches this term. And publicly, Emirates boss Mikel Arteta is strongly supportive of the ex-Bayer Leverkusen star's impact. Arteta said, his confidence is growing and he feels more secure on that field. Overall, though, taking that apart, the performances that he shows on the pitch and his aggression is top. They are really good. Kieran Tierneys has now dropped his biggest hint yet about his Arsenal future. Arsenal left-back Kieran Tierneys is currently on loan at Spanish club Real Sociedad. Last season, Tierneys felt like something of a square peg in a round hole at Arsenal. Following the arrival of Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester City, the way the left-back role was interpreted at the Emirates Stadium changed. The Ukrainian is a very different kind of player to Tierneys, despite them both being fullbacks. The Scot is far more orthodox, as he excels in bombing forward up the touchline to provide an overlapping run on the outside of a winger and delivering crosses into the box with his favored left foot. Zinchenko, meanwhile, performs the role in an inverted fashion, habitually drifting into the middle of the park to become an auxiliary midfielder of sorts and involving himself in the build-up play. This is clearly the approach Mikel Arteta favors, and as such Tierneys needed to adapt in order to survive at the Emirates Stadium. The 26-year-old made a valiant effort to adjust to this new tactical instruction, but never looked entirely comfortable with being asked to come in field. With Takahiro Tomiyasu also at the club, and Jurriën Timber arriving in the summer, it was clear that the former Celtic man was no longer in Arteta's plans. What next for Arsenal and Kieran Tierneys? Tierneys himself has admitted that Zinchenko is a better fit for the current Arsenal side than he is. Therefore, it is hard to see how the 41-cap Scotland international resurrects his career in North London when his current loan stint in Spain comes to an end. Tierneys has now discussed what his future holds. In an interview with the Daily Mail, the defender was asked if he will feature for the Gunners again and said, "It's hard to say. I loved my time there and I still have 2 years on the contract. I am very grateful to Arsenal. I don't know what's going to happen, but I am absolutely loving it here. I feel I have adapted quite well and I hope I can return the faith the club have shown." It is hard to see, beyond an extraordinary change in circumstances, how Tierneys might still have a future at Arsenal. The Gunners' plan for the player this summer ought to be centered upon attracting the biggest fee for him that they can and moving him on a permanent basis. Tierneys was an excellent servant to Arsenal for much of his time at the club, but he no longer fits the mold for what Arteta is looking for. Well, folks, those were today's news. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay informed about everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell so you won't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and see you in the next video.